Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates, and today I was just outside throwing some rocks around, making a swimming pool in the river. Just got back in, and let's do this little thing. So let's see, how do we get started? The way that I would do it with this windsurf plan, I think I would start out like so. Let's just make sure we can see everything. Yeah, it looks fine. So I would jump into here. Now the thing I'm trying to build is right here. First, we need to create the plan. All right. So I'm going to be using Windsurf Cascade planning mode. And I don't really know how to use the Windsurf IDE. And I want you to create a prompt and ask Windsurf, I guess you could call it Cascade. So ask Cascade to describe the planning mode and how we can work together to create a plan. Okay, that's good. We'll start with this one. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to open up a folder. Just create a new folder. It's called Windsurf. There's nothing inside of it. So this is straight out of the box. All right, now it says planning mode lets Cascade generate and edit a plan file to work smarter over longer tasks. Disable planning mode, enable planning mode. All right, so just so this is just the way that I work with AI. I don't do the vibe coding direct. I always use another AI product to help me to communicate with the IDE. And it's just because, I don't know, I guess they speak the same language, right? This one's Gemini 2.5 Pro promo. It's good, doing only 0.75 of a credit. Nice. Or you could use ChatGPT 4.1, and then you're only using 0.25%. Then you got these other models which are free. Hello. Anyways, I'm not really that interested in reading it. What I'm more interested in doing is asking Gemini to read it. And maybe I'll just share this window, because then we can have it read it for us.
Excellent. Cascade has understood the goal and has laid out a perfect collaborative framework. Its questions are exactly what a senior developer or product manager would ask to define the scope of a minimum viable product, MVP. Your role now is to provide clear, simple answers that align with our simplified MVP strategy. The goal is to reduce complexity at every turn to get to a launchable product as fast as possible. Here is a clear, decisive response you can provide to Cascade. Your response to Cascade. This sounds like a perfect way to proceed. I will provide the vision and make the key decisions, and you can help me structure the plan. Here are my thoughts on your initial questions. For this first version, my priority is simplicity and speed to market. 1. Core user journey. The user journey is linear and session-based. 1. A user lands on the page and is immediately prompted to start a brainstorm session to think about potential objectives. 2. They enter their ideas into the brainstorm module. 3. They proceed to the choose module to select the best ideas from their list. 4. Finally, they enter the objectives module. Here, each chosen idea becomes a high-level objective, which they can then break down into specific, actionable tasks. 5. The main outcome is a structured, well-defined task list that is ready to be exported and used in their primary project management tool. 2. Module Essentials, MVP version. Let's keep the UI functionality as simple as possible. Brainstorm, a simple list of text items. The user can add, edit, and delete items from the list. Choose, simple checkboxing next to each brainstormed item. Any item that is checked is carried forward to the next module. Objectives. For each chosen idea, the user can create a list of tasks. Each task will have a task title and a task description. Nothing more for now. 3. Final output. This is a critical point. To keep the MVP simple, we will avoid direct API integration for now. Format. The primary data format for the task list should be JSON. Export options. The user will have two simple options. 1. Copy to clipboard button. This will copy the task list as formatted plain text, using Markdown for titles and bullet points, that they can easily paste into a Trello card, Jira ticket, or email. 2. Download JSON button. This allows them to save their plan and provides a path for potential future import features. 4. Users and data persistence. For the MVP, this will be a 100% session-based tool. No user accounts, no authentication, no saved work between sessions. When the user closes the tab, the data is gone. This drastically reduces complexity. Since we aren't saving user data, we will not need Supabase for this initial version. 5. Technology stack. Let's choose the stack that offers maximum speed for this simple, session-based tool. Backend. Given the lack of database or user accounts, we might be able to build this as a purely client-side application initially. Let's keep a minimal Node.js Express server as an option only if we find we need specific server-side logic that can't be handled on the front end. Front end. Let's use plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, Vanilla.js. This avoids all framework overhead and is the fastest way to build the simple interface we've described. With these decisions made, we have a much clearer and leaner scope. I'm ready for the next step. How would you now break down the development of this objective builder into a set of features or tasks for our plan?
All right, so I think that Gemini did an okay job. I wouldn't say that it captures everything, and also I don't know. There's some that I would just like to describe more directly. So let's talk about the app. So as you know, I've been working on this app for a really long time. Really long time. Did I close the? Where's the file? Hello. There it is. Right. So now, granted, you have to remember, I'm not sharing any screen, so this is definitely not a great way to do this. But what I want to create is a wireframe. So right now, I'm not going to worry about design things. Hey, I think that your prompt is really great. And I also think that we could improve the prompt if I explain to you the user experience. When the user opens the website, there is a text block and it says, you are a manager. You need to understand what the executives are thinking and provide them with a clear set of objectives. And then under that, it's going to say, you're a manager. you need your team to understand what needs to get done in order to complete those objectives. And then under that, it says, use these tools to make a clear task list with your current project management tool. So I guess those three text paragraphs, they could be in one text box. And above that text box, there's going to be some small letters. It's going to say free version. All right, so at the top of the screen, we have a little thing that says free version. And then under that, there's a text box. In the text box, it has these three, I guess they're just almost like three paragraphs. But the first paragraph, you're a manager, you need to understand what executives are thinking and provide them with a clear set of objectives. That's the first paragraph. The second one is, you're a manager, you need your team to understand what needs to get done in order to complete those objectives. And then the third paragraph is just a sentence. It says, use these tools to make a clear list of your current project manager. No, it says, use these tools to make a clear task list with your current project management tool. Under that, there's basically there's two potential options. One is called direction. Under the bold heading direction, it says manager, and then that vertical line. It's like a slash, but it's vertical, and then executive. So that's in one box, and then in the box to the right, it says alignment, manager, and then the vertical slash and team. So basically, it's like a table with two cells. On the left cell, it says direction, manager, executive. Then under that, it says how we're going to achieve our project vision. And then on the right, in the right cell, it says alignment, manager, team. The alignment is in bold, direction is in bold. Under the alignment, manager, team, it says what we're doing and how to get it done. Underneath that, there is basically, it's like if you created a table with two columns. In the left column, there are 3 rows. There's a big plus sign. It says brainstorm. And then in smaller text, it says with 5 eyes. In the following row, it says in the left column, a big plus sign plus the word choose. And in the third row, in the left column, there is a big arrow pointing to the right. Now, in the right column, under the box that says alignment, manager, and team, there's an arrow which is the size of 2 rows. So in the right column, the first and second rows are merged, and there's an arrow pointing down to the third row right column, which says plus objectives, and then in smaller text it says and task list. And finally, underneath that, there is one single cell. It is a row. It's the merging the left and right columns, so it's just one text box. It says connect your project management tool. All right, so that's the main page. That's the whole thing. And so from this page, you have the option. You can either click direction, you can click brainstorm, you can click choose, you can click alignment, or you can choose objective. So there's a couple of options. There's all these different options. And then if you click the direction button, it will take you directly to the brainstorm checklist. If you click brainstorm, it will take you to the brainstorm checklist. If you click choose, it will take you to the choose checklist. If you click alignment, it'll take you directly to the objective checklist. And if you clicked connect your project management tool, then it'll take you to another page. The other page, it'll just say, in the future, you'll be able to connect directly to your project management tool. For now, go back and select one of the modules. And once you complete the module, you'll be able to copy and paste the text, or you'll be able to copy the JSON file, like basically the options that you've already shared in your message above. So this is the home page. Now below that section, there's going to be another section. It says paid version coming soon. And then it'll say paid version tier 1. If you'd like to maintain a history of the work you've done, each time you click one of the above buttons, the text you type into the text boxes will be saved. And then there'll be like a title. Under the title, there'll be a container. Well, right now it's just an image, and the image will be what the additional section with this, with this row. It's a row with a couple little columns that makes it look like in the future it'll be a useful tool to keep track of all of the different modules that you've done over time. And under there, there's going to be additional text. It's going to say paid version tier 2. After you have mastered the Essential Manager modules above, you'll be ready to explore additional modules that can help you plan and execute endeavors. And I'm not going to tell you what's more underneath that section. For now, this is enough for the home page. So now we need to describe what the pages and user experience will look like when a person clicks either direction or alignment, and when a person clicks brainstorm or choose or objective. And we already described what the page looks like if you click connect your project management tool. All right, so once I explain the remaining pages, then you'll be able to create a prompt to describe everything to Cascade. So if you click the brainstorm button, or if you click direction, then it'll send you to the brainstorm page. On the brainstorm page, you can navigate back. Navigating back takes you to the home page. And at the top of the screen, there's going to be a progress bar, because the brainstorm is not going to happen all on the same page. We're going to have one page for each of the 5 items of brainstorm with 5 eyes. So on the first one, it's going to have the title at the top of the page, brainstorm with 5 eyes. And the first title for the question is going to be imitate/trends. The text will say, how are square bracket they square bracket doing it, question mark. Have you figured out best practices? Talk to industry experts and follow the trends so that you can keep up with what's going on. Provide examples. And then there'll be an input text box. After the person inputs text, then they can either click back to go to the main page, or they can click next. The next button will take them to ideate, and then on this next page at the top, the progress bar will have, it'll be showing the second section of 5 sections of the progress bar. The title ideate, under ideate, it'll say, now that you've done benchmarking, if we're going to get ahead, we need to think outside the box. What are other ideas? No, sorry. What other ideas do we have? And then there's a text box. You can click back to go back to the page to go back to the page imitate/trends, or there's another button that says home page. Now, whenever you click the home page, it doesn't matter what page you're on. It will say, if you go back to the home page, you're going to lose all of the text that you've inputted so far. Are you sure you want to go back to the home page? And that's going to be a pop-up. If you click back, it'll just take you to the previous page, in this case, imitate trends. And when you click next, then it'll take you to the next page, which is ignore. At the top, there will be a progress bar that says 3 of 5. And then there's going to be the title, Brainstorm with 5 eyes. And then ignore. The text, there are things that didn't work, won't work, and are wasting our time. Can we list some don't do that ideas? At least figure out what other people have tried and failed. Then there's an input text box. Underneath, there's a home button, back, or next. Same issue with the home button and the pop-up. Click next. You go to the next page where 4 of 5 in the progress bar is showing. The title, Brainstorm with 5 eyes. The title, Integrate. Text, how can you take the above examples and find ways to shorten the distance and speed things up regarding connections with customers, providers, and internal clients? How can we square bracket do this square bracket better? Question mark. And a text box. Same home button, back button, next button. Home button has a pop-up. If you click the back button, if it's possible, then we can show the text that was appearing, which the user had already inputted previously. And then if they click next after they have clicked back, then is it possible that the text that they've already inputted into the box will be pre-populated? So if they move next or back, as long as they don't go back to the home page, the text which they've entered will be maintained in the browser. Anyways, the next page, if they click next, is going to be there'll be a progress bar that says 5 of 5 at the top, and then the title, Brainstorm with 5 eyes. Title, Interfere. Now that you're doing better, what are you going to do to slow competitors? It's easier to pass cars going in slow motion. How can we slow them down? And there's a text box. And then there's the page for home, there's the page for back, there's the page for next. Now, from here, now underneath here, there's also a copy button. So the copy button or the download as a JSON file will be down. There'll be that option at the bottom of the page. And then if you click the next button, then it's going to take you to the choose your objectives page. Also, if you click the choose button from the main menu, it'll also take you to the choose your objectives page. And so I just want you to make some notes, and then I'll explain the choose your objectives page. All right, so if the person clicks the choose button, or if they are in the last page after they have, if they're on the interfere page, then there's going to be a button that says, it'll be the same button that appears in the main menu, and it'll say plus choose. So it doesn't matter if you click next or if you click plus choose, both of those options will take you to the choose objective first page. And so the title, the same as the past, just like there was a brainstorm with 5 eyes title for the brainstorm module, there's going to be a choose your objectives title, and then above that there's going to be a progress bar, In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. In this case, there are also five pages, and so it's the same as the previous situation. You have a progress bar at the top. You have the choose your objectives title. In this case, there isn't a title for each of the questions. There's only the questions and the input text box. And then under, if you choose back, if you click back, it depends. So if you click back, but previously you were on the home page, then it'll just take you back to the home page. And there's also the home page button. If you came from the Brainstorm with 5 eyes page, then it'll take you back to the interfere page. And if you click next, then it'll take you to the next page for the choose your objectives. So since you already understand how that's all designed, I'll just tell you the 5 pages. Progress bar 1 of 5. The page has the question, what scenarios are being considered, with the text box. Next, progress bar 2 of 5. What are the similarities and differences between scenarios? Next, progress bar 3 of 5. How do you decide on what aspects of the scenarios are more or less important to consider? Next, progress bar 4 of 5. Evaluate the differences based on those important aspects. Next, progress bar 5 of 5. Make statements that support your decision. Again, it's going to be like the last page from the brainstorming with 5 eyes module, where they can copy to they can copy it, or they can download it as a JSON file. And yeah, the rest is the same as the previous module. Now on the main page, if they click the objective button, then they will go straight to the objectives section, the objectives module. Also here, when they're on the choose your objectives, so that's more like, that's about choose. So the very last page of this choose your objectives page, there'll also be the button that says, that looks just like the plus objective, and then in small text it'll say and task list. So then they're going to click that button, and then of course there's the question of, okay, at this point, is the browser able to save all of the previous text that were inputted into all of the other pages in the past? So if they click back, they could go back to previous sections and change the text. And then if they click next, will it already also show all of the text that they've inputted, so that only the current version of the text will be saved in the browser? So if they click the choose module, then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 pages, and I'll just explain. I'll just give you the sentences. There, of course, there's the project, the progress bar, which will be 1 of 7, 2 of 7, 3 of 7, etc. There will be the title, which will be discuss an objective. And then the questions are, which objective would you like to talk about? What are the steps to accomplish the objective if you were to delegate it to someone else to do? What additional business services are needed? What skills are necessary to complete the tasks? What additional tools are needed? Who will you need to contact in the process of work? Who will you need to cooperate with to complete the tasks? Now from here, there's going to be a button that says create a task list on that last page. So on the last page, you can go back to the home page. You can click back. So there's no next button on the last page of the objectives, discuss an objectives module. But there is going to be a button that says create a task list. So I think at this point, I should say that there should be the ability to click the create a task list at the bottom of every single page. So at any point, you could click the create a task list, or maybe not create a task list. Maybe it should say add a task to your task list. So every single page, at the bottom of the page, it'll have this button. You can always click add a task to your task list. And then if you click that button, it'll take you to the page which has a table. In the table, the top of column 1 says task, the top of column 2 says person, the top of column 3 has date. And then there should be basically there should be like three empty rows, and on the fourth row it should be a button that says add row, so you can just keep clicking it to add a row. And then under that it'll say so under that it'll say back, or it'll say download, no, it'll say copy or download as a JSON file. That way, like, let's say that I've been through, let's say that I'm on the very first page, like I'm only on the brainstorm with 5 eyes. I'm going through the imitate trends, and then I'm like, hey, I got some ideas for some tasks. So then I click the add a task to the task list button. I go to the task list page, and I can just, I could write down a couple of tasks, write down some of the people that I'd like to assign those tasks to, write down a date, and then click back. And then it takes me back to whatever page I was currently on. For example, in this case, it would take me back to imitate and trends, and then I could click next and go to ideate. On the ideate page, after I've entered some text into the text box, I could then click add a task to the task list. It would take me to the same page that I've already added tasks to, and the previously added tasks would appear there. Now, the question is, like, what happens to the task list when I click go to the home page? So that means that we need to edit the pop-up when you click go to the home page. It'll say that you will also lose your task list. And then underneath that, there should be a button that says subscribe to Pro version in order to save task lists and save the work you've done within modules. All right, so I don't know. I'm not going to read it right now. I just want to see how well that this workflow works without too much intervention. So in this case, I think that over the last couple of months, we've been doing a really, really complicated app, and I just want to get something into a web page. Like, I think it's time to release something to the public. As you can see, I have it completely designed as far as like what it should look like, and then as you can see from Gemini, it basically says, hey, you don't need too much extra to be able to do this. Okay, this is an excellent and detailed specification. Based on it, I've broken it down into development plan. This plan outlines the major features associated with your user stories. We'll organize the plan into logical sections, core architecture, the individual modules, the task list page, and finally output monetization aspects. First, I'll save the detailed specifications we provided as a memory in our reference. Here's the objective plan. All right, so it's created a plan. It's got that. Well, it doesn't have like all the details, but we can add text later. There's the choose module. Here's the objectives module. Objectives final page. Then we got the task list page and the back button. Final. Okay, usable copies of clip bars. Okay. Homepage confirmation, pop-up monetization hook. There you go. What's this? All right, it's got some memory happening. All right, good. So we're getting close to, I got another French lesson. So what I'm going to do here is, so we're just going to copy this. We're going to go back to our good buddy Gemini. Oops. Here is the reply from Cascade. If you think it has everything and you're ready to get to work, then I'll continue to paste all of the replies from Cascade here, and I want you to work with Cascade step by step until all features are built. So this feels much simpler than what we were doing before. We might eventually go back to what we were doing before, but you know, the thing is with this market is moving so quickly, and it's becoming easier and easier, simpler and simpler. So I don't know if it's still relevant, the thoughts that I had a month ago or 2 months ago. All right, so I'm giving Gemini the opportunity here to be the proactive project manager. So I'll take the role of proactive technical lead. And nice. This approach combines the best of both your suggestions. So I will tell Cascade exactly which section and task to development plan we're tackling next. Do it. Okay, so, okay, there you go. Excellent. This is a solid plan. So what is it we calling this guy? This guy wants to be called technical lead. Nice. Now, I think this time, so usually, well, it was called Trello before. Before I used to call it, wait. I used to use liaison and architect and all kinds of things. Please propose this input. Okay, there. Anyways, I'm running out of time for today. So basically, I'm just going to pop this in there and let it get to work. Now, we got 2 minutes. It might take longer for than 2 minutes to do this task. Ooh. So here we are. We're back into the old sewing machine. It looks like they're doing a good job communicating with each other. Now, one more thing that probably I should let you know is that on my Gemini, there's like I noticed that there's like a settings button. Inside of settings, there is something called apps. And in the apps section, there is something that says GitHub. So I did enable GitHub. So I think that like Gemini is pretty tough. It's probably going to do a pretty good job with this. I just added this one little caveat. So at the beginning, I want Windsurf to be a little more proactive with its own opinions, just so that we have some good ideas here. Now, finally, well, I got to go. I can't tell you finally. So I'll just see you in the next video. I got some time this afternoon, so I think I'll just continue this video a little bit later, right where we left off. So thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you next time.